training is to make sure that everyone reads the weekly clipboard, especially this week. It is the start of our official spring, and we are going to start having many changes, and we are going to get very, very, very busy as the spring and summer are upon us. So check out the clipboard. There's information on shavings, information on hay, information on Johnny and the rest of the horses and what their routine is going to be during the day and at night. Also, we're going to be moving peepers into the outdoor duck house, so be prepared for that this week, and there's some feeding instructions for those of you who have never fed her. And then we mentioned some springtime tasks, and some of them are written down here, like the dock and also filling holes, but I also, at the request of the weekend people, sent them last year's training video on extra projects and extra tasks. So if you've got a shift that you think might be able to stick around and you're interested in that, that'd be great. I can point you to the video, and it helps talk about all of the additional things that we need done here now that the weather has broken. And as well, a new thing that anybody who was here last year or before knows, that once the horses are out, we actually have to take that barn stall wheelbarrow, we have to bring it out onto the rest of the grounds, and we have to go find all the poop everywhere else on the property. If you just have a group of 2 people, don't worry about it. It's not something that needs to be done every single day, but any crew that has more than 2 people, definitely designate somebody each week to make sure you walk around. People have told me that takes the full 2 hours. So sometimes it's a really, really busy job, but really important. Also, anybody who was not here last year would not have gotten a copy of our predator deterrent handout. This is really important. This is when the fox and the fisher cat and the coyote and the hawks and the osprey and everything else come out, and they try to attack all of our animals all different times during the day, including middle of the day. So this handout is going to help you. It's a 2-page handout. It's also going to teach you what birds look from above, the difference between a hawk and a turkey buzzard, and what to pay attention for and what to listen for. So please do read that. I will ask everybody not to play music, not to wear earbuds this time of year. If you are doing those things, it's really important you put those down and you just in the moment. You're here, you're paying attention. If Sam honks, or if the ducks are freaking out, or if the alpacas screech, there is a reason. There's a reason that all of those animals are doing that. They're on guard all day long. It's up to us to stop, drop what we're doing, run out, find them, especially with the alpaca. Find where they are. They're going to be looking towards the direction of what is threatening, not to them. Alpacas don't get threatened themselves, but they're protecting the rest of the herd. They're protecting the sheep, the goats, the birds, all the ducks, all the waterfowl. And so look towards where they're looking. Guarantee you, unless they're doing that at the pigs, which they do often, you're going to see something. We have saved many of our birds from fox just by listening to the alpaca dropping and running and being able to scare off that predator. So any of you that want training or you want to talk through it so you're more comfortable, no problem, just see me. The last note, most of you probably saw that the pigs in their weekend videos are getting much more active, and I dare to say a little maybe aggressive, not in a bad way, but just in a curiosity kind of way. Especially Diane, she's starting to get quite pushy with her snout, and she's even been nibbling on the tops of people's barn boots, and Jack has been untying shoelaces. So everybody just needs to be a little bit more on guard. It's not a problem to let Diane rub up against you. Just make sure you're watching. Don't be talking to somebody else. You've got to protect yourself as well. If you see her start to open her mouth or try to turn her head, or start pulling at your pants, we're going to have to teach her timeouts. So you just get up and walk away. And we're going to work on that with them. As they get healthier, they're going to get way more interactive, and we just want to make sure all Okay, some more spring things. Yes, this is Louie. Yes, he has blood all over him. He's an instigator, just like the other males are. That's Blue right there. He and Blue just had a giant battle. He also went to battle with Gray. Muscovies are going to fight this time of year, the males. You can either ignore them and let them work it out themselves, or you can split them up. If you want to learn how to split them up, let me know. Otherwise, they're going to survive. They make each other bleed all the time. Now they're standing here like they're best friends. So we've got some old food and shavings that look like they were dumped here at the Ivy. Nothing, not food, not shavings, not old water, should ever be dumped anywhere but the compost pile. That goes for anything you get out of the peacock house. Please don't dump it outside in the pen. Anything you get from the duck house, please don't just walk it 20 feet and dump it. Pig water, everything. It all needs to go into the compost pile, and unfortunately there are no exceptions to that. Somebody dumped it in front of my office door one day. So please just make sure that everything makes its way to the compost. When you are going around picking up manure around the rest of the grounds, please note that Tom has started to train his young grapevines for the wine that he makes for the gift shop. They are hooked up to poles, but up top here is wire. He does have strings hanging down, little caution tape hanging down, but please be careful. If you don't realize that it's there and you don't see the caution tape, or you're not looking at the caution tape, you can very easily walk right into the wire. So just please be mindful. I don't want to see anybody get hurt if they've got their head down and they get too close to this area. Honestly, the horses should not be going in here. They've been very respectful of this area, so you shouldn't be anywhere near this, but I do see some stuff in the background there, so they are close, so just be careful. I've been mentioning springtime means a lot of changes. You can see here personalities and dispositions are really getting quite the opposite of what they were in the winter. This is even Chester going head to head with these wild turkeys. So everybody just be mindful of what's going on. You don't want to find yourself in the middle of something, but at the same time, if they're hurting each other, you might want to consider breaking it up or getting me so we can get Chester out of a situation like this. Also, some of our trash cans aren't being used the right way. So if everybody can make sure they know what is what and what belongs where. This is our white recycling bin that is in the feed room in the barn. But for some reason, it looks like somebody swept up hay and dropped it in at the bottom of the recycling bin. So now that's going to need to be cleaned out. It also happened with the trash can that goes to the street. Someone, and that's, if you remember, that's all the way over there. Someone put lettuce and an old apple at the bottom of that. In Tiverton, that's not how we throw out our garbage. We're not allowed to do that. We have to use these red bags. You can see there's always a red bag around here. We've got to use these. You can't go to the trash can and just dump garbage in it. You can't put a white bag in it or a black bag in it. We've got to go through these. If you have any questions, see me. Also, Diana did a video in detail about how the trash works here in Tiverton. Feel free to find that on YouTube. Another little note about laundry. As is no surprise, I don't like laundry. I don't like doing laundry, and I'm the one that gets stuck doing the laundry all the time. So let's try to make sure if you can just dust something off and fold it up and put it back, that you put it back. If not, it goes in one of these pails. Somebody was putting laundry in these mesh bags. I'm not sure where they came across them. These actually stay sterile, please. They are for alpaca wool once a year during shearing season only. Also, I found in the laundry, inside of one of these bags that the worms come in that we use for alpaca poop, stuffed in there was some of our netting, which isn't washable, and it doesn't need to be washed. I'm not sure how that ended up stuck in a laundry basket, nor are these worm bags in need of being washed. So I don't know why everything was all jammed together, but just letting everybody know, if you have a question about what goes in the laundry or why we need to wash something versus don't, please see me. Thank you. Okay, so Peepers is moving back out into the duck house. This is her new throne. She likes chairs the best, so I made her one. And Andy is going to be moving to outdoor sick bay this week. So information about that is on the clipboard. A couple things about Peepers being out. She tends to get herself in trouble. She has no fear of anything, including the horses. She loves April more than anything. And she will lay in front of her, underneath her, and behind her. And I will try to keep my eye on Peeps, but if I'm in the office and you're here and you see the horse with the turkey sleeping behind it, please go up and move April or move Peepers so Peeps doesn't get herself in trouble. There she goes. You never know if April's going to turn around real fast or buck or kick. And also with Peepers out, nighttime people, we're going to have to get her in. So I'll help remind you, if you help remind me, that Peepers needs to be put in the duck house now every night. Thanks. The horses are also going to have to go in every night. So if anyone is new this year or past last spring or summer and doesn't know how to walk a horse in, either by its halter or using a lead, let me know. And we left them out overnight in the last couple of years during this time of year, but because Johnny is having so many issues with laying down and not getting up, they tend to like to drink out of the pond at night, and I don't want to find a horse in the pond. So we are going to put them away each night and let them back out first thing in the morning. April and Sassy will go into the regular part of the barn area, and Johnny will go into the tractor area as we've been doing. Thanks.